I just like the sound of it. I just like the sound of it.
Hello everyone, just making sure everything is set up properly. Alright, so my mic is kind of whack. Give me a second to fix that. Alright. Picking up something that it shouldn't be. That might be better. Hopefully. I have to rewatch it on the stream, so it's gonna take a second before I can perfect it. Oh yeah, Mythic, ignore my hair, please. Okay, so that's not really better. Let me try bringing it all the way around here. Sorry for weird noises, guys. Or maybe it's because I turned my microphone up. This might be better. Alright, so how's this audio, guys? Is this good? Maybe trying to think of a way that I could be more in the frame. But this seems alright. Yeah. Alright, I think this is about as decent as we're going to get. Let me turn my sensitivity down a tiny bit. There's a weird ringing in the background. It might be the fan. I'm going to turn the fan off. Alright, let me say hi to you guys. General Kenobi, General Kenobi, General Kenobi. Welcome, Mythic, Brick Boy, Fresh Bricks, Medieval Bricks, Ethan, of course, your Lego Man, Michael. Thank you, Mythic, and thank you, Ethan. Where's that ringing coming from? Can you guys hear that? Is it just my headphones? Y'all don't hear any ringing? Alright. If y'all don't hear anything, then I guess we'll just continue. I just hear like weird. But I guess we're good. So, welcome, guys, to the new stage, I guess you could say, in my YouTube career. Now that Lego's done and all the Kappa stuff, which honestly at this point, to express my new thoughts on that, I'm kind of happy about it actually, because I think it's kind of forced me to move along, and I was kind of stagnant with Lego anyway. Um, if it wasn't evident by my lack of Hogwarts updates and stuff. I'm not saying I'm never going to do anything with Lego again, but in general, I think it is time to move on. And I'm not, those were good times, but I'm just not as sad anymore, I guess, um, because I'm able to focus more on my filmmaking and everything. The TV show that I'm making and growing this channel. I was debating whether or not I should just reboot Ethan Network with my 2,000 subscribers on there and basically make it Hello There Nerds, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to grow this new channel. But yeah, to start things off here, I mean, I've already made some videos here, but there are going to be more live streams on this channel probably. I'm going to be starting up a podcast with some friends, or at least that's my plan. HTN podcast, Hello There Nerds podcast, where we're going to talk about nerdy things. As of right now, we're planning on doing a podcast next week on The Mandalorian, since the finale just came out. Awesome finale, by the way. For the most part, had some small flaws that I'll talk about in that stream. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about The Rise of Skywalker, the big topic right now. This film was more than a disappointment to me. This film was an absolute mess. And gee, I'm really shocked that it turned out this way. And we're going to be talking spoilers in the stream, as was obvious in the title and the thumbnail. So if you haven't seen the movie, bail right now. Bail or Ghana out of here. But whenever I saw the movie, I already knew everything that was going to happen. I got it all spoiled for me, for myself. Really, I spoiled it for myself. Because I'm just like that. I never really do that normally. It was kind of just a rabbit trail that I fell down into. And yeah. But half the stuff I had predicted anyway. So that might have made my theater experience a little bit less pleasing. But I've seen the movie 3 times now. And it's terrible. So let's talk about why. There's a lot of areas I could jump to talk about why. So why don't you guys give me in the comments some suggestions, some aspects of the film to talk about. Let me know like what should I talk about, or give me your opinion on a certain thing, and I will agree with it or fight back, counter it. Alright, so my boy Mythic says he likes the movie a lot. Here we go. Ethan says the first part of the movie moved very fast. By the way, guys, do y'all want background music? Because I usually have like the same background music in my streams. Do y'all want me to put that on? Because I can. I just have it turned off right now. But So like this is it with it on. If y'all want that. I can adjust the volume, of course. Mythic says no music. Alright. I'm gonna skirt the music then. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Movie moved really fast. I would have much preferred crap ton of Force Ghosts, but I was scared Disney wouldn't even put anything in there, so I was happy with the voices. Yeah, voices seems like a good idea in conception, but the execution was pretty bad in my opinion because you really can't tell who half of the people are. Even Anakin's voice is very hard to capture, um, which is bad because it's very important that you know who's talking and you really just don't. You just hear Ray, rise, and then in there all of a sudden, bring balance to the force, Ray, like I did. Like, oh wait, that was Anakin's line. I feel like it would have been much more impactful if they had done something with ghosts. However, in that particular moment, it would have been kind of whack if Ghost has shown up, which is why this whole movie is kind of just a mess all the way around because the way that these scenes were created, they couldn't be executed in the proper ways that they needed to be executed. Yeah, Mythic, I recognize the voices too, or at least most of them, but I feel like it just would have been more impactful with faces and even easier to recognize and more memorable and noticeable in the moment. Yeah, Michael, I am all the Jedi. That whole line, first of all, it brings up a lot of questions about the Force and how it works. But secondly, it's really just an in-game ripoff. We get, Tony on your left. They all come through the portals. In-game, we get Poe. There aren't enough of us. And then Lando's like, but there are more of us, Poe. There are more of us. And then there's all the ships. It's like, come on. And then we get, I am inevitable, and I am Iron Man. I am all the Sith, and I am all the Jedi. It's kind of like, but that's really what you could think of. But I think the key problem here is the writer of this film. Oh my gosh, Chris Terrio, I do believe is his name. You want to know what other films he wrote? Batman v Superman, Martha, and Justice League. Is my stream lagging for you guys at all? But yeah, the Kanan and Ahsoka were great. I liked their voices being in there. It's not an angry ripoff. This was written before it came out, bro. There's no way. Okay, this movie went through so many reshoots, and it was just complete disaster that I highly doubt those moments were filmed. I mean, you, I don't know. There's got to be something going on. It's super laggy. Is the audio clear, or like is it just the video that's clear? Like, is it just like my voice is behind the camera? Because as I'm watching it, the video's laggy and the audio's clear. Just the video's laggy. Maybe try turning the video down to 480p. I'm gonna try that. Let me see if that works. No, that did not work. Oh well. Audio is what's pretty important. So, as long as that's working for now, I am satisfied. So yeah, I don't know. Felt like a complete Endgame ripoff for me. Um, Michael says he liked this more than Endgame. He's not really a fan of the MCU anymore. Well, that's kind of a big discussion. What do you mean you're not a fan of the MCU anymore? But yeah, as y'all were saying, the whole fastness of the first bit of the movie, I honestly felt like, oh sorry, everyone's been saying the beginning of the movie is really fast, and as I was watching it, I was like, whoa, they're not wrong. But I was kind of the entire time I was waiting, like, how long is this first bit of the movie? Because like, it's still really really fast, and then it got to the point where they're all in a group circle talking about how they're going to take that down the tower thing, and I was like, wait, are we already at the final battle? Because like you're about to take down the tower that's controlling things. That means it's a final Star Wars battle, and I was in shock because the movie just flew by. I felt like the entire thing was fast, not just that first act, and it was way too fast paced, um, in my opinion, personally. Um, yeah, just felt hella fast to me. I gotta address Leia. Um, it's good. I get like the concept of being again. The concept is good. The execution was poor. The concept of her being in this film, I think, was okay. Obviously, they had very limited resources, and it's an insanely difficult job for what they did to get Carrie Fisher into the movie, and I applaud them for that. But they really did just take her lines out of context from deleted scenes and whatnot. And even if it wasn't out of context, the scenes with her just felt so forced and really cringy, in my opinion. Especially like one scene where she's standing in a group of people, you can clearly tell that she's just green screened in. There's like a haze around her and everything. And then the scenes where she's interacting with people, it just doesn't work for me at all. I would have preferred if she was in like one or two scenes at the very beginning and then passed away. Um, Michael says ever since Homecoming, I feel like the MCU started going downhill a bit. I like Infinity War, but a lot. Honestly, I didn't really like much else. Interesting. I like Homecoming. It'd be cooler to combine Pisana and Kijimi. Um, Unless Pisana is needed for another film, a Disney Plus show or something. I bet Lando goes back there with that random woman because Kijimi blew up or whatever. But I honestly think there wasn't a better way to include her, and a more traditional death would have sucked. I mean, I don't know, fam. I just feel like they could have done it better. And I feel like the scenes with her in it could have been written better than they were written. I know it's like a super hard task, but I bet if you got 10 Star Wars fans and put them into a room and gave them 2 hours, they could have come up with something probably better. Um, Quite frankly, they probably definitely could have come up with something better for the entire film. Also, Palpatine being back, that 100% throw 10 Star Wars fans in a room for a few hours, and they probably could have created some reason, but realistically, probably not, because Disney has screwed up the logic of the Force, which thus screws up Anakin as the chosen one, um, and him bringing balance to the Force, because balance of the Force now has a new definition, and thus the definition in the OT no longer stands, and thus Anakin's sacrifice and him as the chosen one is completely nullified, which is ridiculous. Hey, Gianna, express and decompress. Yeah, I agree, but I feel like it would have been better if Kajimi was an old planet from the OT or prequels. Also, I legit couldn't remember what Kajimi even was until you mentioned it. Yep. I mean, I don't really care, to be honest, if it was an old planet or a new planet or what. I thought Kajimi was a cool planet, actually, just as a planet, like stylistically and visually and conceptually. I thought it was a cool planet. With all the First Order raids going on at night too. That was cool to see how the First Order had become that kind of grip on the galaxy, and yet Kylo is still all like, "Yay, First Order is gonna be a real empire, a real empire." It's like, Are you not kind of already? Like, what? I don't know. But yeah, I just hate what's kind of happened with Anakin's arc and everything. Because in the original trilogy, bringing balance to the Force was clearly overthrowing the Sith. Um, Anakin's the chosen one. He killed Palpatine. The Sith are no more. That was the simple plot of it all. The new Star Wars movies have created this new Force ideology um, that there has to be balance on both sides. A Force ideology that, quite frankly, I prefer. I prefer this Force ideology, the Disney Force ideology, but it doesn't work with the original trilogy Force ideology. So, yes, Gianna, I wore it under my plaid flannel. But OT, you have overthrowing dark side, and then it's like all the light, which technically is in balance, but that was balance in the OT. In the new sequels, it's balance on both sides, light and darkness. Snoke even says, I knew as you grew in the dark, your equal in the light would rise. And people try to defend Rey being powerful, saying there's no more Jedi, and so the light built her up because there was darkness, so there needs to be light and dark. That concept nullifies the Force ideology of the original trilogy. Um, and with this film, with Palpatine being back alive, does that mean that like Palpatine and Rey are equal? I guess because like they balance out the dark and the light, and then Kylo's in the middle because he's conflicted and everything, doesn't really know what he is. I don't know. It's weird, and I would love to delve deep into it. I actually really like the concept of the idea of that whole balance, um, but it doesn't work with the original trilogy, which is a big issue. I don't really get Palpatine's goal, like who TF you gonna rule if you blow up everyone. Exactly, like well he's the transmission he sent out to space is, surrender or be destroyed. It's like, okay. But I mean, I don't know, it just seems kinda like lame motives. Like his motive is literally just to rule the galaxy. Which I guess was his original motive back in the day, but he had reached it, and I was like, that's it. But now he's like, "Ooh, I'm back and I'm gonna rule it again." It's just kind of like, what? Also, the opening crawl of the film starts with "the dead speak!" exclamation point. I died with laughter in the theater at that moment because I just knew the whole film was going to be a joke after that. And then it's like, no, Palpatine sent out a transmission to the galaxy threatening them for revenge. It's like, what the heck? What? I could have thought of a better storyline in second grade. I mean, honestly. Remember in Harry Potter, whenever Voldemort came back and no one believed Harry? Harry's like, Voldemort's back, and no one believes him. What if we had something like that? Like one character, a couple characters knew about Palpatine, and they're trying to convince everyone, Palpatine's actually back, and everyone's like, what Palpatine? It's dumb. Stuff that actually I did like about this film, stuff that was like, whoa, in the theater, was literally just these characters saying the name Palpatine, Han, Luke, Sith. The first time we heard the word Sith in this trilogy, I do believe, might have, yeah, The Last Jedi, whenever Kylo Ren said, forget the Jedi, forget the Sith. I'm pretty sure he said Sith, and I think that was the first time he said the Sith in the sequel trilogy. And it's ridiculous. People say that we're wanting fan service whenever we say, wow, what could have been? Wow, wouldn't have been cool if we had seen Luke, Han, and Leia in the same room together? People are like, no, you can't ask for that. That's just fan service. That's not good storytelling. What the hell? That is good storytelling. Like, that's literally just the continuation of the original trilogy, of the original story. Like, sure, you could focus on maybe some new characters, but that doesn't mean that the old characters are just, I mean, what the heck? Of all, like, Han and Leia, okay, their marriage, what direction are we going to make this go in? We could do this, but instead we're going to make them, they broke up a while back, and now they just went back to the things they're good at. Leia doesn't enter the movie till like halfway through. She's just like an old general. Hasn't seen Han in ages. Han is out being a smuggler again, even though we like never really saw him being a smuggler too much. I mean, I guess that point doesn't really matter, but like, why is this the pathway you chose for the couple that you set up in Return of the Jedi? Well, you didn't set it up. The couple that got set up in Return of the Jedi, you're not going to show their family life together or anything? Like, you just, there they are. Imagine if The Force Awakens was all wrapped around Kylo's training under Luke and his falls to the dark side and his betrayal of the Jedi Temple. Imagine if The Force Awakens ended with Kylo Ren destroying Luke's temple, and maybe Rey was like one of the other students, you know, Kylo's friend at the temple who tried to stop him or something, and then she goes and tries to get Luke to finish her training or something in The Last Jedi, or the second movie, or maybe the second movie could end with Kylo toppling the temple. I feel like it'd be cool with the first one. I don't know, but like, why don't you think of a story? You hire someone who can write a freaking story. It's sad. All right, let me read the chat. Kylo's such a damn cool character. I agree, Mythic. Like, he is. Kylo's the best character of the trilogy. The concept of Kylo, it's amazing. I mean, Leia and Han's son, for one. Okay, you got him tied in with the legacy. He's a Skywalker, technically. Um, and this awesome redemption story. He's the only one with like a clear, strong arc that he has. Gianni, you're saying I feel like we a repeat of Revenge of the Sith. Well, what is Force Awakens a repeat of now? Force Awakens is literally a New Hope. If we made it Kylo's training under Luke, I feel like that would be much more of an individual story because it would be much different than Revenge of the Sith, in my opinion. Because you know, we would have the Han and Leia aspect of the whole parents thing, and then Luke being the uncle, and then a good friend who tries to keep him. I guess that could be Obi-Wan and Anakin, but I don't think Rey would be as impactful to Kylo as she's not like his master or anything, you know. She would just be a friend, and I feel like it could have been so much better. Oh my gosh. Last Jedi gets trashed on too much, though, in my opinion. It was a good movie on its own, but it just didn't set up anything for the last film. No. No. I would have to disagree with you, Michael. I'm saying your name right. It's Michael. But no. Not a good movie on its own. I mean, on its own, sure, if you take it out of context of the entire Star Wars universe, maybe, but you can't do that. You're saying it didn't set up anything for 9. That's 100% true, but it also didn't help anything behind it. Um, Luke Skywalker is wrecked in that movie, and it's not just because he's on an island and he's grumpy and stuff. Again, concept good, ultimate execution bad. The concept of Luke, you know, wanting to run away is reasonable. That's fine. The way that he was like that for basically the entire film and then didn't even come back till the end and not even actually coming back just as a Force ghost and didn't even tell anyone in the bunker what he was doing. He just expects them to figure it out, among many other things. No. And there are other major problems with The Last Jedi, but I want to try to stick mostly to The Rise of Skywalker. That would actually be sick with the temple, says Mythic. Yeah, man. I want to see that. I want to see Kylo's fall. I feel like that would be such a cooler trilogy than the garbage we've gotten. Adam Driver is a very fine actor. Alright, see you, Gianna. I will say that The Last Jedi is visually probably my favorite Star Wars movie. It has some beautiful, beautiful shots in it. Um, but the story is Bantha Poodoo. So, just gotta say that. Don't want you guys to think I'm trolling, but Phantom Menace is my favorite Star Wars movie. Feels like I've just been stating unpopular opinions this entire time. No, Michael, if Phantom Menace is your favorite Star Wars movie, I mean, like, I would disagree, but that's your opinion. Um, I very much so enjoyed Phantom Menace as a kid. I'm not saying, like, you should only enjoy it if you're a kid. Um, but I think the problem with Phantom Menace is again just its execution. You know, the whole plot of Phantom Menace is good in conception. There's a lot going on. Like it's a pretty solid film, but everything that they turned it into just does not work. Um, but I gotta rewatch it again to make sure. Um, welcome, Chase Ayla. You said you hated it. I assume you're talking about Rise of Skywalker. Mythic, what do you disagree with? Michael liking Phantom Menace? Or Chase Ayla hating Rise of Skywalker? It was better watching it a second time, says Owen Landon. Welcome, Owen Landon. I assume you're talking about the Rise of Skywalker. The second time I watched Rise of Skywalker, I did enjoy it more because I could focus on the aspects that I liked more. Third time watching it, it was just a laughing stock, to be honest, because I just realized just how bad it is. Michael says Phantom Menace is also the most rewatchable Star Wars movie. Mm, I would probably have to think about that. uh, Prequels is a trilogy, says Mythic. The world building, characters, ships, story as a whole is awesome and invaluable to the saga. Um, yeah, I mean, so Mythic, you're saying you like the prequels, right? Yeah, I think the prequels there were a lot of problems in execution, but the overarching arc of the prequels is phenomenal, and it's good. But yeah, like you said here, the visuals and the dialogue so damn bad it makes the movie so unwatchable. I mean, for some people, yeah. If you can really just folk, if you can really just focus on the story, then sure. My brother just whispered they're better than the new ones because they are. Because the new sequel trilogy, it's all over the place. There's no overarching arc at all. No tie-in plot except for maybe Kylo Ren. Um, but you can tell they had no idea where the hell they were going whenever they started Force Awakens. It's literally like they started this trilogy in Episode 9. That's what it feels like. Whenever they're suddenly like Palpatine's alive, what are you doing? You know. Whereas the prequels are actually better than the sequels in that field. They have a plot outline, and that's who would think to go into a trilogy without an outline of their story. That's literally just dumb. It's retarded. You don't like Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith, but you do love the Phantom Menace. What? Oh, Mythic, you really hate the prequels. Oof. I haven't seen episode one in quite a while, and I haven't seen episode two in a long time. But I just fairly recently watched episode three, and I still like episode three. I do. I still really like episode three. So why couldn't anyone else heal others like Ray did? We don't talk about it. Look, I'm all in for cool force abilities, and I even kind of used to be in for the concept of force healing. It kind of makes sense, but I feel like it should be reserved for maybe like old light side user mages or something who are like super adept to the force or something like that. It if everyone can force heal, it honestly breaks Star Wars. Um, sorry, my brother's watching something in the other room. Can you turn that down, Blake? 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 you turn that down? Thank you. Alright. Imagine Empire comes out today, people would eat it alive. That's. Wait. No, see, Mythic, the concept of them making a new force power isn't bad. The force healing, though, is going to bring up a lot of problems. Because it really just takes you back. Why didn't Obi-Wan heal Qui-Gon and blah 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 blah. But things like teleporting the lightsaber behind the head, that's excusable. But healing, it's just a problem. And also going forward, like with the Old Republic trilogy, are they just going to be healing everyone who gets wounded? It's kind of ridiculous. Now in the Mandalorian, can Baby Yoda just run up to anyone and start healing them, and then they don't have to die? If Empire came out today, people wouldn't eat it alive. I don't think so. Empire barely has any of the problems that Last Jedi has. Um, sure, the whatchamacallit, Empire Strikes Back brought up some new things back in the day, but there was a sequel guarantee, just as there was for Last Jedi. But Last Jedi sequel did not deliver at all, whereas Return of the Jedi, I feel like, delivered on the most part. And also, Last Jedi has many, many more problems than Empire. Dab, who dude, hating cult. No. Luke moved stuff with his mind. Why didn't he force push Vader to New Hope or crash his tie? Because he didn't have any training. What?
What?
He didn't have any training, so of course he wouldn't have thought to force push Vader or crash his tie. I mean, crash his entire TIE fighter, just force the entire thing down. No, no, you need training for that kind of stuff. I don't think Luke had never even seen anyone use force push before, from what I remember. Be sure to drop a like, guys. Sub with all those alternate accounts. Um, but yeah, Empire's a good film. Give me more arguments that people would have nowadays against Empire. Rey never saw anyone use Force Heal, but she had training, and also you're defending the terrible movie. That's also kind of a problem. But see, oh my gosh, it's so dumb. Earlier in the movie, she healed that random worm thing, and she's like, exposition time to BB-8. Oh, life force from me to him, yay. So that's kind of hinting at the fact that she had learned it. Um, so that can be excused. The whole she didn't know how, because by telling BB-8 that proves that she had learned at some point, probably from Leia. Um, but still, the concept of force healing breaks a lot of things. um, Alright, see you, Michael. Thanks for dropping by. Sorry if y'all can hear talking in the background. My mic's just really sensitive. So Ray finds something in an hour that Luke couldn't find for years. I know, right? That and also I'm trying to piece that together still. So Luke was looking for Exegol. Wait, why would he be looking for Exegol? Because he doesn't know Palpatine's there. Because Palpatine didn't reveal himself until he sent out that random transmission or whatever. It's like, why would he want to go to Exegol? Also, how would he know Exegol exists? Well, I guess because the legends, it's a sacred place of the Sith, blah blah blah. Should have been Korriban, not gonna lie. So how does it create a plot hole then? How does what create a plot hole, Mythic? the whole force healing thing, it's not about her learning it. It's just the concept of force healing breaks Star Wars because from here on out, it realistically anyone can be healed at any moment instead of dying. But are people going to follow that rule? Probably not. People are going to die, and there's always going to be the thing of why did they just force heal them, you know? And also looking back at older movies, you know, like why didn't Obi-Wan force heal Qui-Gon, and etc. etc. Um, so that's the problem there. What was I talking about before I changed? The ability was lost and not taught. What do you mean? What do you mean the ability was lost and not taught? She read about it in the old text. Yeah. Okay, well, taught, read about it. However, she found out, it doesn't really matter that she knows. It's just the concept of force healing. Why didn't they hyperjump into the hundreds of Star Destroyers? They explained that in the movie. Apparently, the Holdo maneuver is 1 to a million. That was so dumb. He was like, why don't we pull some Holdo maneuvers? Do some real damage. It's like, what? Really? And then they're like, oh, that move is 1 in a million. Like, trying to make up for The Last Jedi, obviously, but that was really unnecessary. You did not need that line in the movie. That was so shoehorned. But I guess it solves that problem for all those people who were like, Holdo maneuver is bad. For me personally, I don't really care about the Holdo maneuver. People say it breaks Star Wars because, like, uh, the hyperspace, you're not actually just going fast, you're like going into a wormhole sort of thing. Um, that's what people say, but I think there are other examples in Star Wars besides just the hyperspace Holdo maneuver where it's seen as a speed rather than a teleportation thing. Um, one of which I think was in Force Awakens, whenever Han has to light speed onto Starkiller Base, whenever he enters the atmosphere, he's going like super fast, which shows that it's kind of a speed. You know, you don't just instantly stop. And I think there might be some Clone Wars stuff. I don't know, but using Force Awakens as an example doesn't really count since it's a sequel, and we're going against the sequel logic. But yeah, I don't really care about the Holdo maneuver thing, and that line in Rise of Skywalker felt super shoehorned and weird. I didn't like it. Obi-Wan couldn't have healed Qui-Gon because he didn't know about the healing power. Hey Blake, could you close your door?
My door's shut, son.
Okay.
Not that one, but
Yes, that one.
yes, I'm making trips back and forth to my closet, so I'll close it when I'm done.
Okay. Difficult. Anyway, Hux was funny, says Jace Ayla. I disagree, to be honest. Um, I felt like Hux was cringy as heck and completely wasted. Um, I'm the spy, and
Are you freaking serious?
I don't care if you win. I just want Kylo Ren to lose. Oh my gosh! Look, that ideology of Hux
You just
not caring if they win, but wanting Kylo Ren to lose. That's fine. That makes sense for Hux. That's what they set up in The Last Jedi. It makes sense. I like it. Show, don't tell. Storytelling 101. You learn this in the kindergarten of storytelling. You don't literally write, I don't care if you win, I want Kylo Ren to lose. That's kindergarten writing. It. What? I mean, show us that that's what you believe. Don't just straight up tell us. You know, we're not first graders. We can use our brain when watching a movie. We can piece things together to know someone's motives. We don't need to hear them say it. Um, that was very poorly done. Also, the whole general's coin thing, passage on any ship. What? Yeah, that brings up so many issues because it also just straight up security threats. I mean, sure, I guess they might have it, but like any ship? What? That really doesn't make sense. What a security threat. I mean, the main general, General Pride or whatever, walks onto the deck and he's like, whose ship is this? Yeah, he doesn't know. He was never notified there was a ship. Usually, you're flying next to the other ships and like, oh, ship incoming. Let's see who they are. What's your business here before letting them dock? But instead, they're just like, yep, let's roll up. Sure, the stormtroopers in the hangar, walked up and were like, hey, what are y'all doing here? And then they just killed them. But like, what? They always, scan them first and stuff. It doesn't make sense. Also, that was like Kylo Ren's flagship, and they just docked in a random old junky ship. Like, yo, let's just dock here because we got this captain's medallion. What? Also, like, what is every ship just built with a insert slot for a captain's medallion? It seems like maybe a first order captain's ship would be built with that slot, not just a random ship. To be fair, the ship belonged to an Inquisitor, so like maybe that. But no, that wouldn't make sense because the Inquisitor was part of like the Empire, not really the First Order. But that wasn't. I guess they don't really dabble in that, so you don't know how much of the Empire remains within the First Order. It's just so dumb. They steal the Falcon, then steal it back in 3 minutes. Yeah, I know, right? DS, welcome. Disappointed with the last film. Yep, yep. I agree. Yeah. Medallion's so random. I feel like Zori Bliss was a decent character. I mean, she's clearly a catalyst character for Poe, which I like. She's not overdone in the film. Doesn't make sense that she escaped Kajimi and was like in the final fight. Kajimi blew up, and I don't see how she would have. I mean, gotten off or known to get off, even though she had like just told Poe, I'm staying here. Maybe she randomly changed her mind. I was like, you know what, let's go. But she survived, and so did Babu Frick, just because. Um, but yeah, she seemed like decent catalyst character for him, and obviously Jana was the same for Poe. I mean Finn. They're both bouncing off each other about their stormtrooperness, their stormtrooper lightness. Everyone is going to instantly assume a romance between Finn and Jana. That it was just an obvious chemistry sort of thing there. But there just wasn't. Jana was not in the film nearly enough to allow for any sort of romance, which I don't mind, but now it's just kind of weird looking at her character because everyone was like, oh, this is Finn's romance interest, but it's kind of like, oh, wait, she's not. I don't know. By catalyst character mythic, I mean a character that spurns another character into action. Um, so the character within themselves just kind of serves no purpose. Their purpose is for another character. So Zori Bliss is there so that we can hear from Poe that he really does want to be in this fight because she's like, "Come with me" and stuff. So clearly he has another life and also his whole spice running stuff. But he responds with how he, you know, has to stay in this fight and everything. And we wouldn't get to hear that from Poe if she hadn't have been there. That kind of helped pull that out of him. Although I feel like maybe they could have rewritten this in a way to where Poe and Finn could have had their little revealing moments with our main cast rather than these two random characters. Because clearly these random characters were added just to give those two a little bit more depth, a little bit more time. I feel like at least Jana maybe could have been cut and he could have talked about his stormtrooperness with someone else, like within the main group. I don't know. I guess it kind of does make sense, but it's just whack. Okay, character foil is a character that simply exists to show another character's trait. Yeah, similar to that, I guess. How does R2 fix C-3PO's memory? I don't know. I guess he just has it backed up conveniently. I didn't know R2 did that, but apparently he does. Also, C-3PO says, "Oh, R2's memory banks are historically unreliable," or something. And it's kind of like, what? Are they? Like, where's the proof of R2's memory banks being historically unreliable? I mean, I guess it's in C-3PO's character to kind of rag on R2, but I don't know. That line just seemed out of place to me. Oof, Rose. Yeah, I watched The Last Jedi the other day, and I was trying to determine the true point of Holdo and Rose. And Holdo, I feel like, is more of a character foil or whatever. But not. it's not really to show another character's trait so much. It's to help the character go through a change. So with Holdo, I feel like she was there more for Poe to go through another change. Execution was all just terrible though. And then Rose, I was really just trying to figure out what her point was. Like, is she a catalyst character for Finn? Is she? I really don't think she is. She isn't. Finn was completely wasted in The Last Jedi, in my opinion. And Rose served no purpose, realistically. So, also this movie had such dumb, like, fake emotional moments. Like, oh, Chewbacca died, and you're like, psych, he didn't die. Um, and C-3PO losing his memory. Also, they make their whole little pact thing of for Chewie after we already know that Chewie's alive. It's kind of like we really don't care. Like we know Chewie's alive, so we're not gonna sympathize with you thinking that he's not alive. Who edited this movie? Like who cut this together? Uh, um, yeah, Rose could have been epic. I mean, sure, I guess, but really she didn't need to exist at all. Should have focused on our main characters. I love how Finn and Rey don't even speak a word to each other in the entire Last Jedi. Our two main characters from The Force Awakens don't even speak a word to each other in the sequel film. That is disastrous. I wonder if there was a goal going in. All right, well, we need to, make our two main characters. I wonder if anyone's ever done this before, Bob. I wonder, you know, could we just make them not talk to each other at all? In the entire film, you think we could get away with that? Yeah, Ryan, I think that's a great idea. Huh? Let's do it. Bruh. Finally, a rebel member who's not a warrior but a mechanic. It's new and interesting. I mean, I guess, but it's not like interesting, I think there are more interesting things. I think she's a decent character, but she didn't need to be in the film as much as she was. My gosh. Unless she was actually made to be a good character, so I guess you might have a point. But my boy Finn, just wasted in that film. For the most part, anyway. Can you please close that door? Because, well, I mean, you can hear everything, so. He's on the phone, so I'm kind of just like, maybe you don't want the whole world to hear your conversation. My thick bricks, yes. Yummy thick. Oh, wait. 6 watching. Who's all watching? Who up in here? Give me y'all's. We need to be talking about Rise of Skywalker. Give me your Rise of Skywalker opinions, boys. I need to hear them. I need to hear them. My ultimate opinion is the Force stuff was cool. Just to see. Force healing has a big oof to it. Story was pretty much trash. And a complete disaster. Let's talk about Kylo's redemption. That is something. Oh gosh. Okay. I went into this film expecting Kylo Ren to die. I was like, all right, that seems like the reasonable way out for his character. That's just where he's going. He's gonna sacrifice himself. Remember whenever he got stabbed by Rey, randomly in that battle? Gosh, this movie's so bad. And yeah, I would have preferred that he had died then than later. It would have been a terrible death, but it would have been much better than what we get at the end. Um, and if he had died then, I feel like that could really open up Rey to some more possibilities. She'd be like, oh shoot, I killed him. and that would take her character in a really cool direction. But of course, if they did do that, they wouldn't be able to take her character in that direction because they apparently just don't know how to tell stories. Um, so at the end, with the whole ending sequence goes down in the worst way that you could comprehend. It what? Palpatine dies by having his lightning rejected back at him. On the list of ways Palpatine should die, how should he die? For me, at least, if I was to write a list, that would be on the bottom. Okay, it's already happened to him once. I would say like that, and then him getting thrown into a pole. It's like, what? Oh my gosh. And then the whole Raylo thing. Again, the idea of it is fine. Raylo's fine. The idea of Raylo is fine. But everything that built up in this trilogy has made Raylo not fine. There's no spark between these characters except maybe like the acting between Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver, but nothing that they're saying to each other is romantic. None of their whole relationship status is not romantic. He killed her father figure and technically his own father. Um, Betrayed Luke and all this other stuff, which was her other father figure, and they just their connection doesn't make sense until like near the end. It's like, okay, you could see them starting to be friends, but just kiss. It's like, what is this fan fiction? What the heck? It's like Professor McGonagall and Snape. Ooh, they're up in there in the common room. What? It whack. The Death Star blew up. Why is it on Endor? Well, that was not the same moon of Endor. It was a different moon of Endor. But apparently there were just gigantic fragments of it that landed, which I guess kind of makes sense. But I went in with no expectations, still disappointed. That's 2.5 hours I won't get back. Yep. Um, but anyway, the whole death thing. Rey dies. Kylo brings her back. They kiss, and then he dies. Why doesn't she just bring him back and then go up back and forth? But I guess he just turned into a ghost too fast. She's like, all right, time to bring him back. Oh no, he's gone. And also, she didn't turn into a ghost. So does that mean like she wasn't forced enough to turn into a ghost or something? But to be fair, I don't think Anakin turned into a ghost either as Vader. So I don't know the whole ghosts logic. I don't know everything about it. But I do like that Kylo turned into a ghost. Again, I think it was too soon. But I like the concept of his character ghosting. To be completely honest, so like I wanted Kylo to die. I thought it'd be a good way for him to go out, and that's just how his character was going. But whenever Rey dies, quite frankly, Rey should have just died, and Kylo should have lived at that moment. Um, he would live with terrible remorse, obviously. And I mean, I don't know. Actually, that'd be kind of rough. I don't know. It's like they've written themselves into corners, and then they just get out of the corner by extremely dumb means. And that happens like all throughout the entire film, which is why it should really just be wiped, clean slated, just restart all the way back from the beginning. Um, it's just so bad. All right, what's up? What other opinions we got in here? I feel like a cool way for Sidious to go out instead of would be maybe similar to how Dooku did. So he falls on his knees. He's about to be beheaded by Rey or maybe even Kylo. Kylo would actually be cool. Um, and instead of saying "do it" to kill Dooku, he is saying "do it" to kill himself. He wouldn't necessarily have to say "do it," and he would be using this idea that if you strike me down, I like my thoughts are already ingrained in your memory, and he would have up in the story, he would have already done something up until this point to where he's going to live on with the person who's killing them. And yeah, it's kind of a challenge to write, but you hired a writer for this movie, let him write it. Um, so he'll haunt them even whenever he's dead. So he could die, and just gets beheaded. So like he ends with his laughter, and he dies still a sinister villain, and he lives on as a sinister villain through this person's memories. But instead, he's just remembered as melting, and I melted away. I melted away like Thanos. I melted away like Voldemort. I melted away like all the other villains that melt away. Oh gosh. write a story. That's my challenge to the creators or like the writers of these films. It's ridiculous. We got 3 watching now. We just hit 1 hour. Who's popping? Hopefully the recorded version won't lag. But alright, I'm trying to get back to the chat. There we go. Chat boyos, where y'all at? Y'all gone? Y'all ditched me? SMH. I'll blast the music until I get an answer out of y'all. Oh, wait, we got DS. Yes, so many bad points to explain actions. So many bad points to explain action. Wait. Yeah, I guess. Let's see, what else is there to discuss? A lot of people are harassing the Knights of Ren for being terrible at this movie. Yeah, they were just over-glorified stormtroopers, but didn't expect anything more than that, so I honestly am not too dissatisfied with them. Well, no, I take that back. Yes, of course, they should have been different. Like, they could have even been characters. Write them as characters, like, frick. It's so sad. Sup, Go-Clone Commander? Long time no see. What do you think of The Rise of Skywalker? I thought it was terrible. I said terrible just then, if you couldn't decipher that. Indeed. Sorry to hear you quit. Oh, yeah. The Lego stuff. Stuff happens. I wouldn't really say I quit. I definitely didn't quit. I just was forced to quit. I didn't intentionally want to quit. But yeah, my guys, we're probably going to wrap up in about 10 minutes because I'm hungry. It's 9:17 here, p.m. I haven't had dinner, so I'm going to get some foods. But yeah, I plan on writing an essay, a video essay, on why these sequels are a disaster, just from conception. Like the whole concept of the sequels is a disaster. Well, not the concept of the sequels, but just the direction they chose to go in, and just the fact that they didn't seem to consider a good direction. If Palpatine wanted Rey to kill him to transfer Sith Emperor title to her, guess what? She supposedly did kill him. So much poor logic in the movie. Are you still... Bro, you're right. What the hell? Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about that. I mean, technically she didn't kill him because, like, it's his lightning that reflected back at him. I don't know. So dumb. Are you still building your Hogwarts? Yes, but to be honest, not really. Like, I haven't done any work on it in ages because I'm working on my TV show that I'm making and just some other things. Getting more into my filmmaking stuff, and Lego just isn't really as important to me right now, to be completely honest. So I'll probably finish it eventually. I'm not destroying it or officially quitting it or anything, but you know, I agree it's a serious thing, but I think they will be less strict than thought. I love the movie other than the fact that the first half felt so rushed and so much content, and then the last battle was half the movie. Whole film felt rushed to me. Also, last battle. I get that in Star Wars, it's a big thing to have, like, your final battles where, well, we gotta destroy this tower for the deflector shields or something like that. But maybe come up with something else. Something that allows for more character. all these battles were, except for like everything going on in Palpatine's throne room in this film with like Kylo, Rey, and Palpatine. That was kind of character work, I would say. I liked Palpatine's line of, Vader was saved by his son Luke, and the only family you have here is me. I liked that line. But all of our other characters are just out there blasting. Complete waste, to be completely honest. Um, and I guess there was a lot of that in the original trilogy, but so what? Think to write a better action sequence. Your action should be developing your characters, and I don't see much of that in Star Wars, and especially in this final battle. Half of our cast is just thrown into this battle, and they're not growing, really. They're not having dialogue with anyone. You know, I feel like Finn could have been again used in a cooler way. Instead, he's just running on the Star Destroyer shooting stuff. Yeah, running on a Star Destroyer shooting stuff. Yeah, I feel like give him a character moment. But again, with the way this movie was set up, it would have been difficult to give him one, which is why the entire film needs to be rewritten to where you can give him one. You need to plan out your film. You can't just write and write and write and now this happens, now this happens, now this happens, now this happens. Let's just make a couple things correlate. All right, they'll mention this here and they mention it and mention it. Yeah, cool. No, no, no. Uh, and yeah, like I said earlier, the biggest thing in the theater that like turned me on while watching this movie, well, that sounded weird, but was just hearing the words Sith, Luke, Lando, Leia, Han. Simple things that should have been consistent throughout this entire trilogy, but instead they weren't. That's sad. Whenever words like Sith are what really get you into it, because the word Sith, I mean, it should. That's a big word. The Sith are cool. The Sith are the villains and everything. But bruh, why are we just now hearing that word in this trilogy? And yeah, we heard it once in Last Jedi, I think, but it's just ridiculous. Go Clone Commander. Very poor choice of words. Sorry, I just had to do a bunch of weird Joker laughs. Chilled on hyperventilate. I'm getting into the impression mood. It's that time of night, boys. Should we transition to the voice impression section of the stream? There's so much noise, staticky noise. Maybe I can. What if I did this? Does that make it better? Maybe. I doubt it, but well, actually, I might be able to. Here. The I'm insane entire time, you mean? Co-clone commander, please do not expose me like that. Perhaps. Nah. No. I'm just gonna scoot my computer over here. And that might help with the whole sound thing. Yeah, well, hopefully that makes it alright. As I told someone else, even the dark side could not have saved this sequel series. Yeah, everything about it is. Pretty much everything about it is bad. If I'm gonna be completely honest. Alright, so we can end the stream here. Or we can do some voice impressions. What do you guys want? I am at your disposal. So are you watching The Mandalorian? Absolutely. I watched episode 8 today. Loved it. I plan on doing a podcast with some friends on Monday about the whole series. At least that's my plan anyway. Gotta see if that works. Hopefully all of them can make it. If they can't all make it, probably still do it anyway. Just have to call people on. DS votes for impressions. You can vote for characters in the comments, like who I should do impressions of. I gotta lean back. This chair doesn't have a back to it. I'm gonna just lean onto the whatever this is called. This piece of furniture. This shelving unit behind me. There we go. Sorry, I was getting my mic set up better. By the way, yeet, dab, dab, yeet. Long time. Long have I waited. Long have I waited for my grandchild to come home. Oh my gosh. Also, the reveal of her being Palpatine was so dumb. Like, again, treating the audience like we're all first graders because he goes, "You're his granddaughter." And that was really enough. That's all we needed. But then he goes, "You are a Palpatine." Like, it's just like all the fan theorists. All right, is she a Palpatine? Is she a Skywalker? Oh, she's his granddaughter. But is she a Palpatine though? So, you have to say the words. You are a Palpatine. Ridiculous. All right, see ya, Coclone. I'm gonna say we're gonna end in 5 minutes. So get your voice impression requests out there. I don't know why it's lagging. It's whack. Wasn't doing that the other day. I'll have to look into that. Maybe it's because maybe it's I have the USBs plugged into different sides or something. Whoever you have the need to do. I don't think I need to do anyone, but I'm gonna try turning the sensitivity down on my mic and see if that helps reduce noise. How's that? Does that reduce some of the noise? Wow, it literally changed nothing. What the heck? Maybe it's just my headphones. Sound. Wow, okay, so that's just in my headphones, it sounds like. Because I'm hearing a lot of stuff. I'm hearing like this weird ringing stuff, but oh well. I'm gonna turn that sensitivity back up then. Alright, so what character should I do? Let me see. I don't know, fam. Huh. Hmm. That was a dying Minecraft villager. Welcome to the Rise of Skywalker discussion. Oh gosh. It's simple. We kill the Batman. you're good at something, never do it for free.
You think you could just steal from us and walk away?
Yeah. A very poor choice of words. Go get 'em.
You're garbage who steals her money.
Don't talk like them. You're not. Even if you'd like to be. You see, their code. It's just a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. You see, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve. And he gets ripped up off the table and everything.
I'm afraid the deflector shields will be quite operational when your friends arrive. Master Yoda, you survived.
Surprised, are you? Hmm?
I have waited for this. Wait, what was the line? I have waited for this moment for a long time.
Is that whenever he says,
My little green friend. Soon the Jedi shall be no more.
the chat has died. I've plagued everyone. Speaking of plague, did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? No, I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. You see, Darth Plagueis was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful and wise. Blah, 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 blah. Alrighty, chat has died. So I think we're going to wrap it up there. Before I just keep plaguing everyone with impressions. So thanks to everyone who dropped by today. DS, Co-Clone, Mythic, of course, Jace Ayla. Who else we have on here? Dab Dude, Hating Cult, Michael, Gianna, Owen Landon. Let's see, who else? We have Fresh Bricks, Medieval Bricks, and Brickboy Builder 18 for a little bit of time, and Real Lego Man Productions. So thanks, guys. Yep, DS, no problem. Thank you too, man. And I'll catch you all in the next one, for sure. So until then, may the Force be with you, and be sure to check out some other videos for Fortune and Glory, kid. Fortune and Glory. Goodbye for now. Gosh, I don't know how to end this. Because I ended Ethan Network videos with goodbye for now. And I'm talking to you all again in the next one. Goodbye for now. And then I ended Hello There Nerds with click some more videos for Fortune and Glory, kid. Fortune and Glory. But I think I'm just going to do my classic Ethan Network outro of the talk to you all soon. Or see you in the next one. Goodbye for now. Just because that's what I've always done. So... on the main channel anyway. So thanks for dropping by, everyone. I'll be talking to you all again very soon. Stay tuned for the Mandalorian podcast, probably coming Monday. Be sure you got that bell clicked so that you will get notifications. Don't worry, I won't be spamming your email probably. I don't plan on uploading on here religiously every minute, but I will be uploading good content whenever I upload. So click that bell, subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, there's only 3 people watching. I think you're subscribed. And drop a like, and I'll be talking to you all again in the next one. Until then, goodbye for now.